So it just like, but for that coach to or that player to respond the way that he did kind of tells you like what kind of kid he is. And I had a coach call me, like a coach that's like interested in recruiting him. And I was like, he's a good, talented player. I was like, but definitely needs to learn how to be mature. I was like, he's going to be doing a lot of growing up in this next year. That's kind of what I told the coach. So, and that's an honest opinion. I wasn't saying anything bad, but I gave an honest opinion. And
That's baggage right there.
right. And it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, like, I'm not going to speak kindly about you if I have nothing kind to speak about you.
Get Sports Focus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing. Weightsandbars.com. Build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts. Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Championship level sandwiches every single time. South Bay Construction, a reputation built on trust. And by Fuel Good, fueling your success. Conveniently located in Santa Clara off Homestead Road. For more info, go to fuelgoodmealprep.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Sports Focus. We're about to do the predictions, but first, we got some important things that we need to share. It seems like the Jets have acquired one of our Bay Area greats. Actually, they're back together. Can y'all see that? Look at that. Oh, Devontae Adams.
That was huge. That's huge. So I guarantee you a bunch of people are like jumping on waiver wires in their fantasies right now, like picking up Aaron Rodgers, picking up Devontae Adams.
I know, right?
But no, I think I mean that goes to, I mean, if you take it all the way back, right? It's like, Devontae said that he only wanted to play with two quarterbacks, two guys, Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers.
I thought he didn't want to go to the Saints though.
No, he didn't want to go to the Saints, but he said he wouldn't. Like he would like to play with him. That's actually the reason why he ended up at Vegas, was to play with Derek again. Like it just goes to show, like, rapport and chemistry and that relationship, like it stands the test.
A long way, yeah.
It goes a long way. Like, so I'm super happy for them. That was a nail biter yesterday. That was Josh Allen, another Bay Area guy, another Cali guy. Like,
that's right. Yes.
Yeah, over the hill down in my area, over in Fireball. But he's another one. Like, he made that. Anyone that's watching, go look it up. I think it was in the first quarter. It's in the first half, but he was drifted out of the pocket. There was no way he should have made that pass, but he did. And he's insane. Speaking of Josh Allen, if anyone has ever looked up Josh Allen before, look up his recruiting, like how he did his whole thing. Came from a super small town, ended up at Reedley at a JUCO, and he did his own recruiting. He just messaged all these people and said, like, I'm going to
like over 100 coaches.
Yeah. And only one got back to him.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Is there value in posting your highlights from your game? Like a lot, or I don't know if
so,
I asked correctly.
So having talked to coaches, and having worked with players that are in college and, going to the pros and all that stuff as well. And watching, especially the Panthers, here's a great example. When you go to the pros, right, when you're trying to go to the next level, whatever the higher level is, it's like singular games. Like it's helpful if you're trying to build a name for yourself, because you want to just be you want to get your name out there. Like that's big. But when you're doing that, you got to make sure you tag the right people. That's number one. As you especially for high school kids, and I think some college kids do this too, there's a couple milestones that when you want to post videos. So it's like a compilation, because there's certain things that coaches want to see you do. Like for wide receivers, there's a list of routes. You can search this. there's a tree of routes that you should be showing in your video, and 9 times out of 10, like you're probably not going to get that in one game. So it's going to be through like a string of games. So usually it's make a highlight video after your preseason's over, then right in the middle of the season, at the conclusion of the season, and then whenever your postseason ends too. And then you do a cumulative like full season. But the thing is, like, you take down the previous video every time. So don't just keep all of them there. Take it down so that they know like which one is there. So like if you pin it to your Twitter or your X, make sure you pin the most recent one on there, because it'll always live on your huddle, but make sure you pin the most recent one at the top. And then if it's the end of your senior year and you are like a 2-year start, you're a 2-year player or a 3-year player or even a 1-year player, whatever, it doesn't matter. Put all your career stuff, as long as it's varsity, keyword, as long as it's varsity, put your highlights there at the top together. No longer than 3 minutes, because the coach isn't going to sit there. And your first video, we should put a link to Cyrus, because Cyrus talked about this on his social, and he's spot on it. And every recruiter has talked about this. The first play has to grab the attention. It's like writing an essay, guys.
It's like a 96-yard touchdown return,
right
after the other team's touchdown.
Right. Like I said, it's like writing a paper. What's your hook? How are you going to grab my attention?
Yeah.
So that's
so it doesn't hurt to post a lot.
No.
Right? As long as it's real and legit.
As long as it's real and legit. Like, you got to make sure like
that part's important, people. As long as it's real and legit.
Yeah, like if you're going to be putting something on there saying that, like, you know, oh, I had this many catches and this many touchdowns in a game, show it.
Yeah.
Or if you're, you know,
I don't know. Some of these huddle videos are just so small. It's like, can you really see what's going on? Do coaches really like look into that and be like, you know, like, oh, where?
So yeah, the thing is, like, you guys that are making your, because I know a lot of the kids are making their own highlight videos on Huddle, and I know like rare occasions that we have some people that like will help the kids do it. Here's my suggestion and my recommendation when you are doing your videos. Don't play the whole play. That's what I've had to help a lot of kids with this. Don't put the whole play. Just put the actual play. Like, you don't have to do like as you guys are walking up to the stupid line, and then like if you have like a celebration at the end.
So from snap to whistle.
From snap to whistle. Nothing. Don't even show whatever the hell you did at the end of it. Like,
no slow-mos in the beginning of them looking down and going like.
Don't do that. You're just wasting time. You're just wasting time on your video. And then don't pick like the one where it does like a poof, like the special effect, like where it locates you as a player. Literally just do the one that circles you. Have it like roll for like a second, because that'll grab their attention. Attention span is that short for
you know who to watch, right? Yeah.
Then they'll know who to watch. And then that's it. No music. Do not put music in the back. And then if your video quality, which I have seen, if your video quality is crap,
they're not going to watch it.
Well, no one can watch it. So if you have the capability to grab the video, you can always you can Google this too. Again, you guys can Google these things. You can put it through a render where it'll change the quality of the video. Change the quality so that it's sharp. They can see what's going on. If it's blurry, it's just a headache to watch. Even for me, like, I've had the kids like send me the videos like, how does this look? I was like, dude, I can't see anything. Like, this is so blurry. So take your time, like, trying to do that. And if it's your school, like, tell the coaches, because like you guys are trying to watch film on this too. It's also like, can you actually even see what the hell just happened on those plays? Because if you can't, then how's that going to help anybody?
I think schools need to invest in that.
Good cameras.
Yeah, good cameras, and have somebody professional train the kids that are operating it. It's
Yeah,
really not that hard, but you know, it's something that you gotta practice. So I don't know. I just see a lot of it, and they're quick, man. These kids are quick now. It's like right after the game, boom, they post whatever highlight they have.
right.
Uh,
Oh, and here's my other like advice. If you have two views, like you have end zone and sideline view, just pick one. If you're a lineman, especially if like you're in a pass set, use an end zone view because they can see you do your pass set. But you don't show the same highlight from two different views. That doesn't count as like two big plays. It's the same play, just from two different views. Don't do that
mm,
because they can tell. They're not stupid.
yeah, I see. I see. Nice. Okay, so that's a good topic to kind of discuss since we are more than halfway through the season, right?
Recruiting is starting to like turn up a little bit. If you haven't made a midseason highlights film by now, you're behind.
Yeah.
Like you're
Well,
you're
what what if they don't have one period?
if you don't have one period, then I don't know, figure it out.
Play much.
Yeah, if you don't play much, just use what you got. I can't. There's really nothing. There's really nothing good to say about that. Like if you don't have a lot of film, just use what you have. Just make sure they're like good. And the other thing too is like like running backs and wide receivers, like things that you can add. Like for example, like if you're just like you're like a mid to like deep threat only. Those are the only passes you get. Like throw blocking in there.
Yeah.
Like coaches want to see that you can block, especially receivers. If you can block, that makes you more recruitable.
Yep. Totally agree. Make it an all around kind of a showcase of yourself. So, all right. Well, we there's another subject that I wanted to get into.
Sure.
We were discussing it before, but I think maybe we should go into oh, he's sleeping now.
Oh geez.
Maybe, maybe we should just go right into the predictions and then save it for the last
Sure.
part. All right, cool. We picked 10 games. There's a couple of games here that are new
hmm
teams that we haven't seen much of. So we can start with those.
Sure.
Um Burlingame, we saw them beat Wilcox
hmm
versus the Kings Academy. Kings Academy, they won against Mountain View. I believe it was 32-7. Their QB, Reed Black. He is actually our GSF offensive player of the week. Um, he had 4 touchdowns and he ran a touchdown. So he had 5 total touchdowns in their win against Mountain View. I think they're better than their record. And
hmm
it's going to be a really, really good competition. But man, Burlingame, they got a receiver that can get open anytime, quick or in the long downfield. This is going to be a tough one, but I am going to pick the Kings Academy because they're at home. Home field advantage.
hmm
Might be homecoming too, and it's on a Thursday.
Okay. Score.
Score? Well, thinking about the way they've been scoring, I would say this will be like a 35-28 game.
Okay.
TKA, let's go.
No, I like Kings Academy. Kings Academy, they're they've been contenders like every year. Like they're just a very solid program. Um, Dante's doing a really good job over there. Coach Dante Perez, like he's doing a great job over there. But Burlingame has surprised me this whole year. That win over Wilcox, like I mean, last second
Yeah.
things, like that's what you call like that's finishing a game, until the last whistle's blown. So with that, like if Burlingame plays the same way that they've been playing and the way that they finished that game with Wilcox, I think Burlingame can win this close. It's like close. Like I think like a 24-21 deal. So I'm gonna go with Burlingame on that one.
B game. All right. Ethan will be happy that you picked his alma mater.
Good.
All right, this one's a good one. I think it's in the afternoon. If it is, I'm there because It's on the way to San Francisco. MA is gonna go to Menlo School. It's gonna be that field next to Menlo College.
The grass field.
Yeah, it is a grass field, I
Yeah.
believe. Yes. 4-2 MA versus 5-1 Menlo School. Oh, this is gonna come down to who's more physical, who can beat up the other better, I think. But man, Menlo School, they're at home. They beat Menlo Atherton last year.
Right.
They handled them pretty well. So sorry, MA. I'm gonna have to pick.
Menlo School.
I'm gonna have to pick the Knights. Score wise, they both teams they really like to score. I can see this game going into like the 30s. So I would say it'll be like a 42-35 game. Menlo School.
Okay. I feel like this is gonna be a segment where I'm picking literally against you the entire way. Because I like MA right now. Like MA is starting to like, they started the season off slow. They kind of a little slow. Kind of got punched in the mouth week 2 against Mitty. Like, and ever since then they kind of started to like turn it around a little bit. They needed that.
Battles though.
Yeah,
that was bad. That was
it was just like
it wasn't bad.
It was bad. It's just one of those things. Like you start the season off 0 and like what was it? They started off 0-2, right?
Oh, they beat Bellarmine first game of the season, so I think they were 1-2
because they played Mitty and Los Gatos back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, right there, 2 strong teams going in, but ever since then, they're rolling. So I think
they lost to Los Gatos last week.
Was that who they lost to?
Yeah, we predicted that game.
Oh, yeah, we did predict that game, which we kind of knew.
You picked Los Gatos, I picked MA, and Los Gatos won. I think it was like 21-14. It wasn't like a blowout.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like it's not really too much of a loss for them, like especially for them to keep up with a team like Los Gatos, who Los Gatos has been playing a lot of good teams right now. So, I think MA has kind of like figured out where they are. They're playing the game that they know how to play. Their stars are showing up. Devin Hyde's showing, like he's showing out, like players like that, like they're all showing up. So I think they're gonna bring it to Menlo. So I'm gonna go with the Bears on this one. So we're gonna go. I'll probably go 35-30. It's gonna be a weird score. 35-30, 31 there.
35-31. MA. All right, I'm making sure I write this down so that it's easier. You want to go Live Oak, Santa Teresa? You know a little bit more about Live Oak.
I do know a lot more about Live Oak. And
so you can start.
Man, so this one, Live Oak, they got they got mopped the first few weeks. Losing that big rivalry game was just kind of like they got to figure out who the heck they are. But I think with them like having like these, and I don't like calling them this just but having these confidence games, like they kind of start, it's weird. Like their league schedule kind of, it like rises like this, like in terms of like team difficulty, it's going to start getting harder now for them. But, I think they're starting to figure out like how to play. Super young team, very young team over at Live Oak. But they still got size. They're still coached very well. I think they can do it to them because I think they are going to watch that game that Christopher played against Santa Teresa and seeing like how the run and big body receivers can take down a team like Santa Teresa. Now, Santa Teresa, we already know they have big play capabilities. They have a good quarterback. They have a lot of weapons that they can use that can get open. They have good receivers, right?
Yeah.
But, when it comes to physicality, it's just going to be, again, like, this is the point of the season where we're going to see physicality is going to determine the outcome of the game because it's the midpoint of the season. It's towards the tail end of the season. Right? Like it's kind of like who's in the best shape right now, who's still keeping up with it. So I honestly, just because of how Live Oak plays and just by history, sorry, Coach Pappin, I love you, man. but I'm gonna go Live Oak. But I think it's gonna be so close. It's gonna be so close. I think it's gonna be like a 17-10 game. Maybe 17-14.
Years in between by Treaty Oak Revival.
Oh, Siri, hang on.
Little break in the action. So 17-10, Coach Andrew is taking Live Oak.
Sorry, 17-14. 17-14.
17-14. Okay, 17-14.
Live Oak.
I think this is gonna be a win for Santa Teresa. They're gonna be at home. I think because you said 17-14, they're gonna want to double that up and show. I think they're gonna make a statement right here. I think they'll score in the 30s. But you know, with Live Oak, I mean, they put up 35 on Oak Grove, and Oak Grove, they're struggling right now. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a 35-21 Santa Teresa win. I want to see more touchdowns from you, Mr. Malcolm.
No, so I mean, I just to jump on top of that, like Live Oak hasn't really had like an offense. So for them to have a game where they can put points up, it's big. That's why I think that this is why. This is why. You know, and they've just been getting better every week. So I think they needed to get their butt kicked first. So that's why I think, and Live Oak's rolling right now. They're on a streak. So
they are
upset city. I'm hoping.
But so, well, no, Santa Teresa's not because they lost to Christopher.
Well, no, I mean Santa Teresa's still number 2. Live Oak is,
yeah,
you know, they're kind of in the middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, I mean they can make this. They can do a really good turnaround with this. All right, well, moving on. We got 4-2 Woodside versus 4-2 South San Francisco. Coach Pua's boys ready to take on Evan Usher and the Wildcats. This is gonna be a really. I think this is our game of the week.
Okay.
100% sure, but it's on Friday. It's at South City, and I'm gonna pick South San Francisco, just because they're at home, and you know, I'm sure they circled this game, from the moment they got their schedule because it's cool that they have the same record. Woodside, they're gonna put up a fight. They have, I forgot the receiver's name, but I know they've improved a lot from the first time I saw them, which was the second week of the season against Sequoia. So I'm gonna pick South San Francisco. I think this is gonna be a pretty close game, 21-17. That is my wild prediction.
Okay. You know, I mean, I've only seen like, you know, just some of the videos of like Woodside and South San Francisco. My only thing with Woodside is like, you know, I have, you know, just from last year's like all-star game, like those couple kids that we had from Woodside, you know, just like if those are the kind of players that are coming. Yeah. So if those kind of players came out of that program, you know, that means there's still players like that in that program. So I'm going to flip your score and I'm going to go with Woodside.
Ooh, 21-17 Woodside?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Woodside.
Sorry, Coach Pua. I love you, dude.
Man, they had a really good season last year. Okay, before we get into the WCAL, we're gonna go with, let's see, which one should we go to? Let's go to Wilcox versus Palo Alto. Another possible game of the week for GSF. We will decide tomorrow.
The hitting
Wilcox,
coming in.
yeah, this is a pretty good rivalry. I think Palo Alto's rolling right now, and they made me proud last week when they won their game. So Jeremiah Fong, he had a Odell Beckham catch in the end zone. In the end zone, by the way. No, he literally like grabbed it with one hand. It was crazy. I have the footage. We'll show it later. But Wilcox, I don't want to bet against Wilcox on this one because
yeah, I've been making this mistake every week.
I mean, they handed Menlo School first loss of the season. So I think, and that was in the afternoon. Bray Rossa had a hell of a game. I can see this being the same on Friday. I'm gonna go with Wilcox. Wilcox, make me proud. Prove me wrong. Palo Alto. Score?
Yeah,
I can't see this going past 28. I would say
yeah,
it's going to be a 28 to like 21 game.
yeah. I guess this is the only game I'm gonna probably agree with you on is Wilcox, because I'm gonna go with Wilcox because after seeing because the one big game that I've seen them play was the one against Christopher, and Christopher had their way with that game.
Yeah.
So and what does Wilcox have? Wilcox has a really good running attack. That does a lot there. Rosas is playing amazing. He's having a really good year. So I'm gonna go Wilcox, but I agree. I don't think it's gonna go past you'd be lucky if it's a defensive score or some kind of mess up where it'll go past the 30s, but I think it'll probably cap out around 28. But I don't see Palo Alto because Wilcox's defense isn't bad.
That's what I'm thinking. They have some skill guys that can guard the ball, the deep passes, and even
right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go more like a 28, maybe 28, 17 kind of game.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go Wilcox because again, I've been making that mistake all the time. Every time I pick against Wilcox, they freaking lose. No, they freaking beat me up. So I'm tired of hearing it from my wife and her friends. Why do you hate our school? I'm like, bro, I don't hate your school.
Well, this one's going to be an interesting one. We have 6-0 San Ramon Valley. No, 7-0 San Ramon Valley versus 6-0 De La Salle. It's going to be at De La Salle. Kevin already got that game circled in the calendar before the season, even. This is, I want to go to this one. I'm saying, okay, you're going to go to that one.
This one's hard. But it's not at the same time.
It is. Well, we're going to find out how good San Ramon Valley really is.
Mm-hmm.
They beat SI first game of the season. Not
Right.
by a lot, but they beat them. And we all know what SI has been doing. There's still a big question mark on how good this San Ramon Valley is. I think they're really good. And I think they can beat De La Salle.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there with that. But I knew there was a but following it.
But they're gonna have to prove me wrong because I'm picking De La Salle by 3 touchdowns. It's gonna be 42-14.
Yeah. It's hard to pick against De La Salle right now. De La Salle looks very good.
I'm very confident right now. I think everything is clicking. They hit a little bump, against St. Mary's and El Cerrito, but I think that's because of the Europe trip leading up to. I mean, you got to think that's got to be stressful. You got to get your schoolwork done. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts.
You're missing a whole week of school. You have to adjust.
Bye, right? And now they're back in action. So I think this would be kind of like their homecoming. It's hey, we're back.
No, I mean I think that's huge. What I would say is I would have given the edge to San Ramon Valley if De La Salle didn't have the bye coming back from that overseas trip, because I will tell you the the what is it called when the jet lag is bad. I just got over mine a few days ago.
Really? Dang.
Yeah, it hit me late. I was fine coming back, and then it just smacked me in the face over the weekend.
I heard a while back, the best way to get rid of jet lag and to handle it before a long trip is to do long distance running. Yeah.
And there's also a way you can start changing your sleep pattern. Supposed to do, I believe, the study is 48 hours before you start getting used to that time. And so I thought staying up on the plane all the way home was gonna be enough, but it was not. So, but if, like I said, like if De La Salle like didn't have the bye week, I would have given the edge to San Ramon Valley because that thing probably would have it would have caught up with them.
I
But
think it's a fight.
yeah, but I think like like I said, De La Salle just looks very good right now. They look solid. There's really no right now. I don't see a lot of people like matching up with them right now, minus St. Mary's and El Cerrito. But I'm gonna go with and San Ramon Valley, like their wins, they're all pretty close games.
No, they've blown out a couple of
They've
people.
blown out a couple, but it was like the teams that they should have blown out.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna go with De La Salle. I'm gonna probably go with I'm gonna go like 42-7.
Ooh.
Yeah. Prove me wrong, San Ramon. I've always picked you guys. This one is just harder to pick right now for you guys just because of the way De La Salle's playing. But prove me wrong.
So when I went to on Saturday, I went to the Willow Glen Sobrado game, and right after the game, all those Willow Glen guys, they were like 21-7, huh? 21-7. They were calling you out, not me, because my score was like 21-17. But it was pretty cool because they like the entire team, even a couple of coaches were like yelling it out, and they were cool about it, you know. And I ended up talking to multiple guys, and obviously Coach Oscar Caballero is our coach of the week for the wonderful work that they've been doing with that program. They had a little thing going on last year, but he's back now. So, and they're doing well, undefeated.
Yeah. All you players that like you teams and you coaches and players, like, don't be afraid to just call me out. Like, I would love to have a conversation. I'm not afraid of it.
Coach Andrew is a really cool guy, guys.
Yeah, I'm just calling
He
it
ain't about that life.
Yeah, I'm just calling it how it is.
Yeah. Do you want us to lie to you, or
I could?
All right. This one is an interesting game because I don't know what's going on with these two teams, but expectations were very, very high, and now it's like, what in the world is going on with Bellarmine and Riordan? They're about to play each other on Saturday at Riordan. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in this game, but it's like a total contrast, right? You have Bellarmine, who's they're doing their best, but nothing is working. And then you have Riordan with all the best players, and still nothing is working. Hey, I'm just looking at the comments on the YouTube videos. It is what it is. 2-4 for a team with what, 26 D1 recruits. What's going on there? Bellarmine, 0-6. There's a comment in there that says, man, this could be the worst Bellarmine team in history, which I thought was like, oh no, they didn't. You did not to say that. That's not cool.
That's pretty out there, you know. I'll go first with this game. It's true though, like the expectations for both teams coming into it, like, so high, you know. But there's two different things at stake here, one for each team, right? Riordan, a must-win game. They have to win this game regardless. Doesn't matter to stay alive for the playoffs. So they need to win this game regardless. And Bellarmine needs to win this game, or just like put a good showing in. At least, like, both teams have to put a good showing in, just to kind of like reestablish, like, I'm gonna say it this way, reestablish who the hell you are, guys. Jesus. Like, it's take a little bit more pride in yourself, like as a program and as a team. Like, pick each other up, motivate each other. Like, you guys are the ones that are playing the game. You guys can have the best coaches in the world, which I know on both sides. You have amazing coaching staffs. They can't play the game for you. You guys have to execute and play. Right? That's the whole thing. We do know Bellarmine actually has a very good defense. We know this.
I think they do. I still think they have a very good defense.
Right. It's a hard game when your defense is on the field 90% of the game. because your offense can't move the ball. You know, that's just kind of what's kind of screwing up Bellarmine right now. And then with Riordan, it's like a lot of it is like self-inflicted, like penalties, drop passes, turnovers, things that you guys are doing to yourself. Like that's pretty much what it is. And then big plays, you know, like play until like keep covering until the game, like the play is over. Like don't stop. You know, you guys have all the talent both teams have all the talent in the world to like make this a very good game and also to like finish your season on a high note. But I will go with Riordan on this one just because I think they do have more of a capability. I'm saying capability. They have better capability with the talent that they do have. Not discounting anything on Bellarmine's side. It's just I think this team, the Riordan team, has been together a little bit longer at this level, so they can put this together. But they need this game. Both teams need this game, regardless of whatever the result is. But I'm gonna go with Riordan, and I don't think Riordan's gonna put up a lot of points in this game. I think it's gonna be like a 28-14. Like I do see Bellarmine finally putting some points on the board and keeping it close all the way up until probably like the second half. So 28-14 Riordan. I think I kind of spoke for both of us on that whole rant right there.
You did. I don't know what to say.
I feel very strongly about it because it's like, you know, we had such high expectations for both teams.
We did. Oh man. The off season with the Bells.
Riordan, like seeing them at the tournaments and like, you know, just what's been going on over there. Like,
but see, that's the thing. We were aware of SI Valley, but I think this, you know, that Valley game, I said it was going to be a really good opportunity for the under-recruited, underrated guys of Valley Christian to show that, hey, we can hang with the big boys. Jordan Vargas, 2 picks. Colton Hyder, I hope I'm saying your name right, Hyder. The big dude, he was on our 7s. He had a big 6 that was thrown right at him. But defensively, I mean, that's why Valley Christian, it was hard to pick the defensive player of the week because there were multiple entries from Valley Christian. I'm like, we'll just give it to the whole team because they all played. Jay Foster, remember him? Yeah, he adjusted well against Sinai. And obviously Jordan Vargas, 2 picks. That right there was crazy. And Bixby, tackles.
Yeah,
all over the place. So all the play, we didn't even show a play with him making a tackle because all the other plays, he was doing that. I mean, but he made their offense like insignificant. Like it was crazy. So what was the score?
28-14 Riordan.
28?
28-14.
28-14 Riordan.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be. Wait, hold on. Let me write it. Let me key it in.
You think it's gonna be higher? Because my challenge to Riordan is eclipse 28. That's how you prove me wrong in this game. So I'm putting a little bit more. I want to put a little bit more pressure on that Riordan team.
I think it's gonna be a 56-0 game.
I hope so.
I can't see them letting up because of the last 2 losses. SI, Valley. Like this is a must-win game for both, yes, but they're gonna be at home. They're not gonna let up. This is gonna be yeah. Wait,
you need this.
Yeah, 56, I would say 56-0.
Okay.
Winning clock and all that stuff.
Yeah. I hope, like, honestly, like they need, like, Riordan, this is one of those games where they need to put that many points on. Like it's like one of those games, like they have to put that many on. Yeah. And you have to shut out the offense so that it's a confidence thing, like both sides. Like, you know, you got to have that confidence for that. But I think that Riordan offense needs that confidence that they can still score points, and a lot of them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I want to see Mike Mitchell throw like 6 touchdowns or something. Like
break the single game record. Didn't he set the single game record?
He already did. I mean, he can again, but this is against Bellarmine, so I don't think. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna do. I think it'll be tough. I mean, Bellarmine, they'll come out. They'll do their thing. But I think it's a total mismatch right here. All right,
So
moving on. The biggest win, I thought, there's a couple of big wins in the WCAL. Valley beating Riordan, and Sacred Heart Cathedral beating the Black and Gold. The Black and Gold. I don't know what happened, but hey, I did mention Michael Sargent.
we did. We talked about him early in the
Those
season.
young guys with his young weapons, they got it done. Fourth quarter, 3 touchdowns.
Didn't we talk about Michael Sargent like at the beginning of the season?
yeah.
And we both said like, we got to keep an eye on this guy.
He was an offensive player of the week for week 1. And he kind of struggled maybe the last couple of weeks, but up to this week, like against Mitty, he got it together, and man, if you see the videos of him throwing those touchdowns, I mean, it was beautiful, dude. He picked apart the defense late in the game and brought him back, and he ran a touchdown in as well. So that's why he got the game changer, because he definitely carried the team. The line did well too. They had over 200 yards
Rushing
offense, yeah. And I think it's just a matter of time before everything clicks. And I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Valley Christian.
Oh, so well, I mean, I would say like, with Michael Sargent, like, big ups to you, my man. Complete 180 from last season. Complete change.
I'm not sure how much he played last year.
Well, when he did, like it was, I mean, that whole team last year was just kind of trying to figure out who they are again.
Yeah.
Like, so I would say,
this is a whole different team.
It's a whole different team. So kudos to Sacred Heart Cathedral on turning the program around.
For now. Was
Was
that a lucky win? Luck of the Irish.
But I will say, like, Valley Christian, like, you guys definitely like proved me wrong really, really well. I'm really happy. And, I got to give big ups to you guys. So I'm actually going to go with Valley this week. And this has nothing to do just because of like what you guys have done, but like you guys really like showed it that you can do it. And because of the way the defense played yesterday or last week, that's going to cause a problem for Sargent. Like that alone is going to be the key. Like if the defense just keeps playing the way that they do, Valley Christian's going to run away with this game because their offense can move. Rome playing well. Give those 2 running backs that they got, let them run it. So I'm going to go Valley. I'm going to go Valley 35-21.
Okay.
Jordan Vargas, I want 3 picks.
I mean, he can. He can. One thing about Sacred Heart, they are a passing team 9 times out of 10. And will they be able to do that against Valley Christian? They're going to have a hard time. But if they keep hitting those short passes, I think they can move the ball. There's a lot of athletes on this squad. So the thing that I'm worried about with Valley Christian is they're on this high right now. And that could be dangerous.
Stay humble. I mean, that's like I would say that's good. That's like true for like any team. Like when you're overconfident.
Yeah.
Like that can send Achilles heel for any program, any team. Doesn't even matter what sport. It's just overconfidence.
So just watch out for that, fellas, because I'm picking you 28-21.
Valley?
You're 28-22?
No, 35-21.
Oh, 35-21. Okay. Let me fix that. 35-21.
Mm-hmm.
See. All right. Well,
Jordan Vargas owes me 3 picks. And Marcel owes me 2 rushing touchdowns.
2 rushing. What about McLemore?
2. And then 1, and then a long pass from Rome. That's 5. There you go.
There you go. Challenge issue. All right, let's go to the team that the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish defeated last Saturday. Saturday, it's going to be another Saturday game, but this one's going to be in the San Mateo. The Mighty Monarchs versus the Serra Padres.
Okay.
You want to go or should I go? Okay, you could go if you want. Go ahead.
I mean, I mean, this is just where they're both at right now. Like, this is I again, I don't like saying it's weird saying toss-up games when Sarah's involved. But with Mitty last week, it was like you started the game off so well, and finish it. Prepare for whatever. Like, preparation is going to be key for Mitty to even to think about winning this game. They got to win this game. They actually have to win this game.
This game.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I just take the L on this one and just omit my prediction, because this one's a little tough for me. I don't know. Because Serra, it's like, so the game with St. Francis and Serra last week, Serra is still a very high powered team. They can still make big plays. Their defense is still very good. They're a young team, but they're young players that can play. They can rise to the occasion. Like, they absolutely have proven that. Mitty, you start well and you let off the gas a little too much, right? And then you get picked apart by these weird things that shouldn't happen. So if Mitty plays a complete game, Mitty wins this. Mitty can win this game. Serra just comes out and just capitalizes on mistakes, which I love you, Monarchs. I love you guys. But the mistakes, and teams have been capitalizing on your mistakes. That's what will kill the game, and that's what will win the game for Serra. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be probably 28-27, like a 1-pointer. I'm gonna go with Mitty.
Wait, seriously?
I'm seriously gonna go there.
28?
27.
27.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mitty.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think you made a good point about Serra. So even though Serra lost the game against St. Francis, I actually thought they won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because St. Francis is really, really good. Yeah, 2 reallys. They're really, really good. And they didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
But Serra failed to score from their own 3-yard line. Which I was like, how do you not score from your own 3-yard line? Well, because of the defense is really good. So I would say they lost the game, but they won in a lot of ways because
they learned.
They learned, yes. I don't think so. That's why when somebody says, "Oh, they fell off," it's like, yes, but it's not as bad as you. They're building. They're growing. So this game against Mitty is going to be a really good challenge for Serra. I think they're going to beat Mitty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to beat Mitty.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bounce back game for Serra, and I would say it's going to be 42-17.
I mean, I think Mitty's going to come up.
Assuming they don't turn the ball over,
right?
They control the game, and they just completely dominate on the line, which I don't. Serra's line is healthy. I didn't see anybody get hurt or anything. I mean, I was worried about that. I was like, man, are they going to be able to take on the St. Francis's front line, like both sides? So I think they can beat Mitty 42-17.
Okay. There's a lot. And again, this is another one of those games. It's like the Riorda Bellarmine game. Like this is must win on both sides. So this is gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be entertaining.
Yep. And I do think they're out of the race of the WCAL.
Oh yeah, it's gonna we'll talk about that on the next game.
But there's still a chance. St. Francis, this is our last game, people. St. Francis at SI 5-1 versus 5-1. It's a little, I mean, okay. St. Francis, their only losses to De La Salle. SI, their only losses to San Ramon Valley.
Two high-powered teams.
And those two teams are playing each other this Friday as well. This is tough, bro. I don't know. This might be a tie.
So let's talk about what's at stake in this game.
The title.
Right. So we already know that this is for at least a share of the title right now.
Wait, is it because Valley? They still both of them. They
both have to play Valley. They still both have to play Valley.
No, I don't think this is a share. I think this is still just. I don't think it's there yet.
It's not there yet.
Only if St. Francis beat SI. Then when they play Valley, it would be for a share. Right.
Yeah, honestly, it's like this is on paper, both teams are good. Like on paper, I think they match up pretty well right now. Like on paper, but my the edge I give is because of Kingston. That's why I give St. Francis the edge. Like, and I've been pretty spot on with that. Kingston, there were so many runs last week that should have been like for loss, but he keeps going. He redirected.
That's my impersonation of Kingston.
How many times did he redirect? Like
almost all of them.
Yeah, like he redirected. I mean, not saying that that he should be doing that, but the fact is that he has the skill to do that. So that's already like something right there. SI traditionally always has a big line on both sides, traditionally, and I think they're big again this year. Like that, so the line's going to be pretty evenly matched. It's probably going to be just kind of like how Serra was. Like in terms of size, they're going to be pretty matched up. So you just got to get like a good push, and then Kingston's got the vision. So I'm going to rock with the King. I'm going to rock with the Lancers, the Cahoon brothers, Aaron Knapp, Perion, the younger Kiana Aina. Like,
no.
I'm going to roll with you.
And Kaimani.
Yeah, dude. He almost had 2 picks, right?
Yes, he did.
And so that's the thing, too, because SI likes to throw. So you have opportunities. Now, it's when you get those opportunities, do you make the most of it, right? Play your game the way that it needs to be played. But I'm going to go with St. Francis. I think this is going to be a close game. I'm going to go St. Francis 28-24.
Let me end that in the thing. 28. Wait, what? 28-24?
28-24.
So, my turn?
Mm-hmm.
In Kingston, we trust.
You have to.
3 touchdowns for my man. I need 3 touchdowns from Kingston. And I need 3 touchdowns from Hogan. The difference maker is going to be the defense. You mentioned the almost 2 picks by Kaimani. This is crazy because I mean they ended up winning the game, but man, Serra they drove down. That was scary for the Lancers. Because can you imagine had Serra scored in that last few seconds? Oh my God, it would have been
nuts.
Crazy. Yeah. So shout out to Andrew Hennigan though, because that drive showed a lot.
Hmm.
Like the confidence, I could see the confidence injected right back. So, but SI, St. Francis, would you say they're pretty similar?
They're very similar. Probably more. I would say SI is more passing. They'll pass more than St. Francis. St. Francis will they'll run the ball.
Hmm.
Like they'll keep it.
I'm gonna call a couple of turnovers for St. Francis. Um, man, hopefully their scout. I'm pretty sure their scouting is gonna play a key role in the coverage because SI, yeah, they do pass a lot more, and I don't want to say they're predictable, but they execute. Even if they're predictable, they execute. They have some really good quick guys. But I think St. Francis, by this time of the season, I think they can defend that really well.
Mhm.
And the pressure from the edge, that's going to play a really big role.
Yeah, that freshman. What's the freshman's name from St.
Jaden
Francis?
Lewis. That's
Dude,
Jeremiah Lewis's brother.
beast from
Jeremiah
Wilcox.
Wilcox. Yeah, now he's a
Yeah,
CM. Uh, totally underrated. But this kid, Jaden Lewis, like he made a couple of big plays against Serra. A freshman. He's a freshman, and he's huge. So
hmm
I think the matchup is going to be pretty even, and it's going to come down to special teams. So it's going to be Hunter versus Kenny, Hunter Gossett versus Oren Kenny. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. So
okay.
uh, 31-28.
For
That's
who?
my St. Francis.
Okay,
Yeah. Um,
I like it.
I can see a couple of turnovers happening. Uh,
I
just because of how I've been watching both teams. We've seen enough of SI and we've seen enough of St. Francis to kind of.
see what's going on.
It's
Like,
pretty cool because I'm on the sideline and I'm like predicting plays. It's like, oh, they're gonna go to Herm. They're gonna go to this guy.
yeah,
Do play. It's like down in distance, like knowing where they're at on the field and who's in the game and all that stuff. Hey, Chase Cahoon though, he played well. Uh, first game as a junior against Serra, made some big tackles. Definitely impacted the game defensively. So that was nice to see. Welcome back, Chase.
yeah.
Welcome.
I think the key is going to be like, if SI can slow down the run, and but that's the thing too. Like Aaron can be dangerous when he's in rhythm, right? When he gets going. But like, if you throw off that, like, I think that's just kind of like the big thing right there. So
Yeah.
if SI learns how to slow down the run and like that control of the line, that's what will make it tough for St. Francis. But I'm still gonna rock with them because it's too hard with Kingston playing the way he is. It's really tough.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough. That's what makes them so dangerous is because of that.
Yep. No, but SI is gonna give them hell. They're at home. That playing at SI is a if you're SI, it's great. Dude, they do this like almost like a Pat McAfee kind of show or college game day show right before the game while the teams are warming up and they're talking about the other team while they're warming up. I
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, you gotta keep it classy, keep it clean. I love what they're doing to SI. I think they have a really good athletic department and
beautiful school.
student section. It's just like they're really into it, and that makes a huge difference.
Oh
So
yeah.
if anything, that could play a major role in this. But if SI beat St. Francis, is that considered an upset
No.
right now? No, right? Because SI is actually ranked above St. Francis,
No, they're like right next to each other right now.
right? Like 2 and 3 kind of a thing.
Kind of thing. Yeah. So I think it's like, yeah, you're right. Like with SI, I remember we played there. I think it was my senior year. We played there, and there was
I
like
was during the day.
it was
The night time is a different feel.
oh even when well I mean I think ours was the day game my senior year, and they had like a it wasn't even homecoming because we played them towards the end of the season, and they had like a parade going on during like pregame, and we were just kind of like, what is happening right now?
The homecoming, probably
It
homecoming.
wasn't homecoming.
Oh,
It was this was like around like I don't even remember what it was, but there was like a parade. They were like it was some celebration of something, and we're like, what's happening? We're kind of weirded out of that game. I think we lost that game like 12-6.
yeah, they're tough to they're tough when they're at home. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
it's gonna be
really.
a good game.
I might shoot from the SI sideline just to kind of like, see what it's like being on their sideline, because there's a lot of energy flowing in that sideline, and they have a shot to take down St. Francis. So just based on the history, I'm picking St. Francis. You guys are gonna have to prove me wrong. Yes, you can yell at me after you beat them. I give you permission. I already see it. John Mills is gonna be all over. Ah! And I got to interview number 41 if they do win, because he's one of their linebackers, and he makes a lot of good plays. He's been doing well, but we haven't mentioned him yet. But hopefully, we'll mention him in the highlights for this game. So, but that's the prediction segment, people. I got all the scores inputted right here. I was taking notes while Coach Andrew was talking. So right now I'm up by 3 points. We tied last week, so hopefully we can get some 5-pointers this week, Coach.
Maybe.
I feel confident with my scores.
Yeah, I will be. Let's see. I will be at the Oak Grove game on Thursday.
Okay. They are playing Christopher.
They're playing Christopher, so I'll be there.
Mm.
I'm there to hang out with Cadero.
Nice.
But it's yeah, you know, hey, unless the team really wants me to come out to a game,
Woo! Thank you.
hey, unless you guys really want me to come out to a game with Alf, let me know, and I'll go. I'm not the type of person. I'm not the type of person to like just kind of show up. I also have a busy life, so I gotta know. Like, if you really want me there, I can schedule it out, and then I can make it.
Hey, maybe you could go to the Serra game on Saturday.
I can actually. I actually probably can. If I don't have
Stay
any.
on the away sideline, I'll be on the home sideline,
What time is the game on Saturday?
It's at 1. I usually get there around 12 because I do a lot of pregame stuff.
I
I'm
should.
JV game.
I should be done with my. I should be done with my day. What
Hey,
if
let's get Coach Andrew to Serra on Saturday. Come on now.
Can I just meet you at your house and we'll drive up?
We can, yeah.
Okay, I'll just meet you at your place.
Coach Andrew, let's get Coach Andrew to the game.
I am actually alone this whole weekend, so
Hey, there you go.
I have nothing to do.
Perfect. All right, we can expect Coach Andrew roaming the sidelines at the Brady Family Stadium. He'll have a couple of Sharpies to sign autographs. We got to print some pictures of you.
I'll wear some Bay Area Panthers stuff.
Hey, there you go.
So I'll wear that, but like, whatever the winning team is, give me some gear.
There you go.
Whoever wins, I want like a hat.
Well, I got mine right there already. Serra gave me a hat. They're on display. That's St. Francis, Serra, and that's my old helmet from Gun High School.
Do you not have a Mitty hat yet?
No, I have a Mitty shirt.
No, you need a hat.
Coach Sullivan gave me a shirt during a post-game interview. He literally shirted me.
Danny, get this man a hat.
AM.
Yeah, get this man a hat. Give him some real colors.
I'll buy it. You know what? I gotta buy like a Valley hat, Bellarmine hat. You would think that I would have a Bellarmine gear but I do. I have a shirt. Coach Romero hooked me up.
I
So
actually have a hat because of Bennett Anderson.
hey, we have plenty of room right here to put up some props. All right. So if you are a regular, Christopher, uh,
I'll get
put
you.
you on display. We'll put you on display. It's all good.
I have a blank wall.
And Coach Andrew's got a blank wall.
I have comic books.
We're gonna end with this, Coach. So covering all these big games, we normally see a lot of coaches on the sideline. And I've ran into several coaches on the sideline, like same coaches, be like, "Hey, how you doing?" So it's one of those things where you see them like more than once, and you start chatting it up, and Sarah's got a showcase going in the spring, and we have 7-on-7, and it's pretty cool to kind of see familiar faces. I cannot remember a lot of the names of these coaches because sometimes they show up with one gear, and then the next time I see them, they're wearing something different. I'm still trying to get used to Coach Alonzo Carter wearing an Arizona gear because he's always been San Jose State to me. But I've gotten a couple of questions. Actually, it's more than a couple.
Okay.
I've gotten questions from coaches that are on the sideline asking me, how well do you know this team? I see you here all the time. Do you know the players? Because when I tell them when they ask me what is GetSportsFocus, I let them know what we are. And I kind of go through this whole spiel, and they kind of pick up a couple of things and I say, oh, so you know some of these players. Like, oh yeah, we know some of these players. Maybe not personally, but know enough about them. So I've gotten not too long ago, not going to say when, I was on the sideline. Somebody asked me, and this was after a play was made. This coach asked me, you've seen these teams, right? I said, yes. You covered this team regularly? Yes. Is he always like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? That kid right there, number, is he always like that? I'm like, yeah, I've seen him do that a couple of times. And hey, at that moment, I'm working, I'm shooting, and I'm just giving answers to a question. It could have been somebody from the Merc, could have been anybody, could have been a player, could have been one of the people doing the sticks. I'm just answering right off the top of my head without thinking, yeah, I've seen him do that. And then I thought about it because you started talking earlier before we started this whole thing about a coach asking you about a player's character and all that. And that reminded me of that conversation. And I was like, did I just like hurt somebody's chances of getting a good look? Or did I just save the coach time?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really like to sugarcoat a lot of things when it comes to, I mean, we do this thing. I think we're the only one that kind of do this way, where we talk about things. And I mean, all the stuff that we're saying, yeah, we do guess with the predictions, but a lot of times, like, hey, we talk about how we see it. And yeah, that kind of reminded me of what you're talking about. So to end this whole thing, Coach Andrew, talk about your experience with a few coaches hitting you up, asking you about players' character.
Yeah. So remember, guys, it's not just about how you play, it's about how you carry yourself on and off the field, right? Like, are you that type of player? Like, yeah, in the heat of the moment, of course, you're gonna be super hyped up and all that. Like, I'm not telling you guys not to celebrate like big things like that. Just keep it mature. But it's also about like what happens off the field, right? That's probably one of the biggest one, right? Let's take a very surface level one. If you're like a just getting by student, that says a lot about who you are, right? That means you're not taking care of like the things that you could take care of. You know, that those are things that you can control. You can control your grades and you can control how you act outside, right? Like if you're just getting pulled up on something, like someone's pressing you and you boom, you throw a punch on somebody because someone pressed you about like your hair looked funny that day. What does that say about you as a person? Right? Like it's be professional at all times because you never know who's watching you and you never know who those people know because word goes around, you know, your just how you are, your reputation, your resume, your gameplay, that's your calling card. That's your business card right there. They can say like if you guys can sit back and think like, you know, okay, 3-star athlete, 3.5 GPA. I'm just making these things up right now. But crappy attitude. Do you think someone's going to want to recruit you? Probably not. They don't want that headache, right? Because if you're going to come in there and like ruin like team chemistry and team morale just because of the way you act, because you think like, you're the hottest thing since sliced bread, then they're not going to give a crap about you. Like
Unless you're a 5-star.
What if you're a 5-star? I mean, same thing, right? You got to fall in line. I hate saying it that way. You have to fall in line no matter like what your rating is. It doesn't matter. You got to fall in line because if you're a 5-star and you're recruited to a Power 5 school, you're also getting recruited with probably like a bunch of other 5-stars. So who are you at that point? Like I'm not discounting like you guys that are 5-stars or like star rated players. There's also going to be guys that are very similar to who you are. So how you carry yourself will separate you from that. Like if you're coming into a college program and you're like, I was highly recruited, like, oh, I'm not doing this, like, oh, why am I not seeing the field? Blah, 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 blah. But then there's the other recruit, same recruitment, just keeps his head down. All of a sudden they're seeing the field. Like that kind of tells you a little bit more about like who you are. So just be a good person. What's the goal? What's the thing from kids need to watch Bambi. Y'all should watch Bambi. There's a character in Bambi, the Disney movie, classic Disney movie. I just aged us, sorry. But Bambi, the little rabbit named Thumper said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Or like the Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would always say, be kind.
Yeah, but he adds a little bit more to that.
Yeah, I know. That's all I can remember. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really have anything else to add to that. But I have ran into coaches who would say something about a player who's, let's just say, like a hothead or somebody who struggles with emotions and all that. That coach would say, we can fix that part. You can't fix 6'7" or 6'6", 300 plus. You know, you can't fix 6'4". You know, there are players with the physical appearance and stuff that is required to play at a high level, right? But it's worth a shot. Yeah, you could try. I'm sure that's been done you know, a bunch of times. But if you're in that borderline category, yeah, there's a lot. The average, like there's a lot of you. It could make or break you. So
Yeah.
a little reminder, you know, season's winding down. Only the best players are gonna keep playing through the playoffs. That seems to be the thing now. If you are not good, your season's gonna end in 3 weeks.
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're fortunate enough to be at a school like the Los Gatos of the worlds and even the Santa Teresas and the Christophers and the WCALs, like you will go on to play in the playoffs. And that's usually where the best of the best get to show off their thing. So you have more opportunities to showcase your abilities. But right now, hopefully you'll go hard, out there when your team is playing and show a really good attitude.
Just be a good human. Be a human. Like you can, yeah, like you can fix an attitude, right? You got to learn how to check yourself. Like I think that's like one of the hardest things too. And then, I know a lot of coaches like they'll do this, but it's like this is I'm not trying to like advise coaches on it, but it's also like remember coaches too. It's also like your athletes they're still human and they're kids. So, everyone you can figure it out and you have more of an impression on these kids than anything out there. So like if anybody can like turn a kid who probably is a stud but like acts out, like it's coaches can do that. Like we have so much power and it's how you use it and if you choose to use it. Sometimes there's some of those players that need it a little bit more than the others and that goes a long way. So I think for everyone, it's like at the end of the day, like, treat each other like the way you want to be treated. Don't say anything you don't think you need to say. And if you do, check yourself. And if you need to talk to somebody about it, talk to somebody about it. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. If you have something going on, it's better to talk to somebody about it than act out and do something you might regret later.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we're done. I think that's good. We've shared enough. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's cool to run into people talking about this part. I should have said this in the beginning, but it's always cool to run into people calling me out, calling you out, and saying that we're doing a good job. So thank you. We try. It's something fun that we do, and we'll keep doing it. Coach Andrew's going to Mitty. Serra game.
Yeah, guess so.
He'll probably bail out last minute. Oh, I gotta do this.
No, you can't do that to me now. No, I really don't have anything else to do on Saturday.
He's committed.
Yeah, I think the last thing I have to do before I leave then is I just gotta feed my dogs.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be a hot day. I think it's gonna be a beautiful 75 degrees out there in San Mateo. Yeah, should be fun, man.
I gotta stand neutral. I don't want to stand on either side because I'm gonna get some crap.
Oh, that's right. Well, I shoot on the home side usually, so we'll see. All right. If you guys have any questions, comments, ideas, let us know in the comment section. But keep the comment section coming. We love reading those and responding. So,
and if you want to have a conversation, with me, let's do it.
Okay. So far, everything's clean, and I love the interaction. I could tell that the people that are commenting are mature, and they care. So, appreciate you guys. All right, we'll see you Thursdays, Friday, and Saturday. You're watching Get Sports Focus.